to test the major resistance at 1112. I'm going to sign off in 20 minutes at 10:30. I'll keep this webcam up and unplug the mic, and we will keep following all of these plays very closely. Very bearish start to the day for SPY, getting oversold, seeing a little bit of bounce, and it's going to be all about the 200 period moving average resistance to see if this bounce is for real or if it is just cooling off the oversold RSI for some more downside. I would expect to be rejected from this 200 period moving average resistance when we test it, because we're going to have the 20 period lining up with that level as it comes down, and it will be after a nice uptrend of bullish candlesticks, and it's going to take a lot of bullish volume to bust through this 200 period moving average. So GoPro testing the critical levels here. We had the low of 33.57 and then a low of 33.55. But the little lower wicks on these two candlesticks do show that the bulls were hanging around here. So we'll see if we get a close below 33.55, which will signal 33.28. 20 period moving average support will be tested. PCLN, we're watching 1280. A close below 1275 of PCLN will be very bearish. That was strong support last week. And a break of the low of Friday, 1279. And we could see a move down to the 10-day moving average support of 1261. There's PCLN's big break. Watching 1280 support, but RSI is oversold at 26, so could see a little bit of recover. We're going to be watching the back test of these support levels that are now resistance. Saw a little bit of a back test on this candlestick. We will see if we get another one of those. Sunni coming back to the 1090s. So let's see Sunni here setting a nice 2 candlesticks. We will see if it is able to set a third bullish candlestick. The high of the previous one was 1092 on good volume. And in the first 2 minutes here we already have, well, we shouldn't see an increase in volume there, but watching 1092, a break of that will be continued bullish activity as SPY is coming up to that key 200 resistance that I keep pointing out. And what is one thing you are noticing on this chart, on this bounce? First person to answer gets a gold star. What stands out here when you're wondering, does this bounce have bullish strength? Are we going to see SPY go green on the day and turn this thing around? 1 gold star to the first person that can tell me what I am looking at here. Boom, boom, boom. 3 gold stars. 4 gold stars. John wins. But you all win in my eyes. Good team. All right. So we'll see. We got 2 minutes left here. We might see an increase in volume with this candlestick. It's close enough that we could see a change in that pattern. But as of right now, it stands out. I'm glad you guys all saw it as well. Step stare down of declining volume on this bounce. As it's approaching major resistance, to see that pattern, not comforting for the bulls. Well, the bounce is confirming on the short term with these green candlesticks. All you need is a bullish reversal candlestick and then a green candlestick afterwards to confirm the bullish reversal. But that doesn't tell you how strong the reversal is going to be. That could be just like we're seeing here, 5 green candlesticks and then a pullback. We will see. That the bullish reversal doesn't tell you how long it's going to sustain. And as we're coming up to these key resistances, we're watching the volume to see just how strong it is. So we are seeing a little bit of an increase here. 1 minute left to go. Nothing very convincing, but definitely something to keep your eye on. I used the analogy on Friday of the resistance being a roadblock, the stock price being a car approaching the roadblock, and volume being the acceleration. So if you're seeing acceleration pick up as you're running at the roadblock, it is a lot more likely you're going to bust through it than if your speed is declining. We are seeing an increase in volume this candlestick, so we will watch closely to the next candlestick for clues as we are getting really close to this resistance level of 196.39. Sunni just tested 192 again, 1092. Oh, it did break it. So we got 1095, 1094 is a high, so that's four candlesticks in a row now of higher highs. A little bit of declining volume. $11 is going to be resistance. And a break of 1094 will show continued bullish activity, and there it is. Thanks for that alert, Soren, to get me back looking at it. Eyes is holding up well here. Big upper wick showing consolidation. 3 candlesticks in a row of consolidation. Declining volume on a pullback is a great consolidation sign for bulls. And turn that back around. Nice spike in bullish volume here. And we're seeing what kind of follow through we can get off of that. 191,000 volume. Huge volume comparatively. You go back to eyes and look at last week's volume, and we had Friday volume of 153,000. So we are currently almost 25% over the entire day's volume in 45 minutes. The high volume of the week for the 4 days of trading was 245,000. We're going to break that within the next 45 minutes. So very bullish day for eyes. So here's the resistance test for SPY. Watching volume closely, we have 4 minutes left in this candlestick. We might see an increasing volume pattern here. After 2 of decreasing, we've got 1 increasing. Might see another one here. Very curious how we're going to react. We have a pattern of higher highs or higher lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candlesticks in a row. As soon as we see a lower low set, it will be a break in that bullish pattern. Currently, we have a bearish reversal candlestick forming, but plenty of time, 3 minutes, that is going to change. In 2 minutes, we will check back in and see where the candlestick stands. This is very close to a gravestone doji, which is when you have an open, the upper wick hits resistance and pulls back, and the close is right at where the open is. That's a gravestone doji, and at the top of an uptrend, that is a bearish reversal signal. At the bottom of a downtrend, it is a bullish reversal signal. So the candlestick shapes, it is very important where they fall in relation to the chart, if it's an uptrend or a downtrend. Checking back in with Sunni. Keep seeing the higher highs set. It's a good sign. 1094, 1095. Currently looking to test that 1095 level again. Let's compare Sunni volume, 4 million. Note, obviously, that the day we're comparing it to is Friday, when there is historically lower volume. But on Friday, we saw 23 million volume. So we are currently at about a sixth of that in the first 50 minutes of trading. So nothing significant there, but a nice bullish break here and higher highs continuing that pattern. Going to hit $11 resistance and see how we react there. Nice increase in volume is coming here as we still have 2 minutes left in this candlestick, looking to increase over the previous one. So a really nice bounce here. It went a little lower than I anticipated, set a higher low from yesterday. So that is still a bullish sign if we close over $11 that the bulls are buying the dips down in the mid $10. And we are seeing some nice follow through, currently 30 cents to the upside off of that low. So it did follow SPY's bounce, and it followed its lead. There was a little bit of lag time there, which allowed for entry, perhaps too early entry, but anybody who got in on that bounce would be green at the moment. Tesla, looking, that lower wick right there might be the only back test you get, but the RSI is up around 70, so I would be looking on a back test pre-market here, and to start the day we saw resistance at 251.50, unable to get above that level, and so now it was resistance and is now support. So 251.50 would be a target on a pullback to see if that holds. Looking at the daily chart out of curiosity here for Tesla. Very key resistance, 50-day moving average 253.48. A close above that level would be an extremely bullish sign. Keep your eye on it. Support is 250.79, the 100-day moving average support, and we currently have a very squished price in between those two levels. So we're seeing SPY pulling back from that resistance. As anticipated, bearish reversal candlestick with a long upper wick showing profit taking. And we are seeing confirmation of this bearish reversal right now with still 5 minutes left to go, plenty of time, but we saw a break of the low previous candlestick 196.22, seeing a lower low, and that is the first time we're seeing a lower low since this bounce. Sunni is expected to pull back as well. So definitely playing out as anticipated due to looking at volume. So we did see 3 candlesticks of increasing volume here for SPY, but the third one, this increasing volume when looking at the long upper wick, is showing bearish volume. You can compare volume of the candlestick by seeing the shape of the candlestick. So even though it was a green candlestick and green volume, knowing that it was hitting resistance and then pulling back, that is bearish volume hitting the market. So the increase here wasn't necessarily a good sign, if that makes sense. By all means, point out if you would like more clarification of that. Awesome trade, Zach. Nugget hit the 100 period moving average resistance of 266 and is pulling back. We got key support, the 200 period at 260. You want that level to hold. Watching volume here. 3 minutes left to go in this candlestick. You can see this 100 period has been resistance twice now, the start of the day and just now. So turning that into support would be a very bullish development on the day for Nugget. Thank you, John. So let's see how GoPro's shaping up. Was able to hold this 33.55 level, although this big upper wick on the 5-minute chart is a little concerning for the bulls. Definitely seeing resistance above the $34 level, but is maintaining higher lows. So watching this candlestick here, we are seeing a little bit of a lower wick, which is a bullish development here on SPY. We'll see if they are able to maintain these exponential moving averages, which are the blue and red line currently at support. Let's see, John. We'll look at SPY daily volume. Currently 18 million. We had Friday at 120 million. So let's call it 1/6 of the total volume after an hour. Yeah, I would say that is fairly low. We had a bounce of SPY. The low of today is 195.56, and the 10-day moving average support is 195.40, so 16 cents within that support range. And see, this is a very bullish development for SPY. We have the bulls buying the dip and holding these support levels, and now we're going to make another test of these resistances. So we will see, this is now a key low here, 196.10. If we were to see a break and a lower low within the next 15 minutes, that would be continued bearish downside, but this is the new higher low that is being set. Jack, I don't know the answer to your question off the top of my head. If anybody else knows about fixed leverage for CFDs and brokerages about those leverages, please let him know. Netflix. Very bearish. Lower low set. Pulling it up on the daily chart. After the low of 93.55, as you pointed out, nice analysis. It is downside, very little support until 85.50. That seems to be exactly what you're saying, so nice job, Larios. And there is the bearish dump off. RSI is at 25, so not expecting a whole lot more downside without a little bit of a bounce, but Netflix is in a very bearish downtrend. So definitely a lot of indecision here with SPY. We see the long upper wick showing profit taking and selling, and then the long lower wick showing the bulls buying it, buying the dip. Now we are seeing an increase in volume. We've only 1 minute into this candlestick so far. We're going to see an increase in volume, and it is currently bearish. The level I am pointing at is 196.10, the low, and we just hit 196.09. That's not a convincing enough break for me. 1 penny on a $196 stock isn't enough, but definitely pushing the bearish break here on increased volume. Best of luck, Fiona, with those puts. We'll see this 20 period support is very key, 251.10, and you can see how many times it held early to start this morning. I'm down with ODP. Lots of crazy action and a very tight range right now. Some support at 743, 745, 746. CRMD, nice break of the 20 period moving average resistance on volume. Very low level, low dollar stock, $2 here, so always worth mentioning. A break above 308 will be bullish, but we've got upper Bollinger Band resistance of 311 and the 50-day moving average resistance of 319. Volume is not very, well, actually, volume is pretty convincing because Friday we had 230,000, and in the past 15 minutes we have 150,000. So SPY broke that 196.10 mark, and the bears are increasing volume here. Certainly worth noting. Bulls tried to maintain it, but unable to do so. Mobilize continuing to pull back, currently at its low of day. Watch that 200-day moving average support on the daily chart. 46.75. Facebook is pulling back with SPY. I assume Sunni is as well. Let's compare the candlesticks there. Look how similar this is. Sunni, upper wick, lower wick, red dump. Not as much of a dump on Sunni, but upper wick, lower wick, red dump. So certainly trading similarly is Sunni and SPY. And that was a nice alert this morning, how there was a little bit of lag time with Sunni following SPY. I was second guessing myself as it was so lagged, but then it played out perfectly following it up on the bounce. So now we're watching the low here of 195.99 and a low of 195.98. So that is the support level we're watching. A break of that will be continued downside for SPY. So it's 10:30 here. Anybody has any final tickers, go ahead and throw them out. I am going to sign off, grab something to eat, and come back and continue to cover things in chat.